All right, so let's talk about Anthony Edwards for a second. Here's a guy who's getting headlines for jacking up 53 threes in just the first 4 games of this season, second most in NBA history for this stretch. He's out there tossing up 13.3 attempts per game like he's Steph Curry, as his volume alone will make him some kind of shooting icon. But is he getting buckets for the win or just for the highlight reels? Because right now, Edwards looks like he's more interested in padding his stats than in doing anything remotely efficient or game-winning. Remember December 16, 2021, back then, Edwards was putting up 38 points on 14 of 21 shooting and sinking 10 of 14 from deep against the Nuggets. That night, the court was on fire, and he didn't need 50 attempts to prove himself. No, he put on a show. And don't even get me started on April 24, 2023, where he confidently said, "See you in Denver, we going back," like he was already prepping his victory speech. Back then, he put up 34 points, 6 boards, and 5 assists, threw down some nasty spin moves, and actually played with some purpose. There was grit, there was hunger, and more importantly, there was actual impact on the game. Fast forward to now, and all I see is a guy tossing up pull-up threes like it's a game of horse. Look at the numbers. 68 of those attempts are pull-ups, with him making just 37.1 of them. Sure, he's hitting 50 on catch and shoots, that's great, but he's taking a third of his shots that way, which means he's more often out there pulling up, launching, and hoping for the best. You can't build a championship on a guy chucking threes off the dribble every other possession. And I get it, I really do. He's shooting 41.5 from deep so far, a career high, so props for that. But in all honesty, 4 games isn't even a sample size. It's a tease. You want to know who's also hitting these high volume numbers efficiently. LaMelo Ball right there at 41.7, but Ball's game isn't dominated by blind chucking. Edwards is playing as if someone told him his star status is locked in if he hits enough threes, but newsflash, being a star isn't about leading the league in 3-point attempts. It's about leading your team, taking smart shots, and showing up when it matters. Right now, it feels like we're watching an audition reel, not a winning season. Nobody's giving out awards for the guy who chucks up the most threes. What happened to the versatile, intense player who got everyone hyped? The guy who could drive, defend, and swing momentum. If you're gonna pull up every possession, how about making that part of a winning strategy instead of a highlight reel? And don't get me started on defense, because that feels like an afterthought right now. It's almost like he's so caught up in the idea of becoming a scoring machine, he's forgotten that the NBA already has a million shooters. What the league doesn't have a lot of are stars who can step up in every facet of the game. So look, Ant, if you want to be the Anthony Edwards show, go back to the 2021 version, the one that made waves, because he wasn't just another high volume shooter. Be the guy who leads, who plays with purpose, who isn't out there just counting 3-point attempts, but actually playing basketball. Because 4 games into the season, we're seeing more stats than substance. Volume shooters are a dime a dozen. Leaders are rare, figure out which one you're trying to be.